heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I want the money, the power, respect, and I heard you know so-and-so, you not a threat, cause I really know so-and-so, they like my family, so they go pretend that they cool till they bust at your motherfucking chest. I'm getting gutter, my flow been like butter, my check in the bank, they see the number. All of my haters feel one of two ways, really upset or they show some respect. I can't even think about it, I've been up, so read about it, no beat around it, straight to it, no ring around it. You coming for me, we'll see about it, we'll never see it when I get my feet up. 100 meters where I run the fee up, and go for ching and on pia. I had to re-up on a reel, so you stay defeated, and put it back into the bit, cause I don't really need it. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I had to put all their egos in check. You're not entitled to anything else. I get 10 years of this under my belt. Your art is an art, they don't feel it, and nobody hears it. Initiative stay on the shelf. Your ego done got in the way. It gotta die today. It gotta go. You should be happy I lighten the load. The weight of your arrogance, heavy as stone. I make an appearance, they already know. That chip on your shoulder gon' crumble and fold, yeah. It's not a secret that you have been fearing the shit that I'm on. So you back to the brag and the boast. But I'm in a class of my own. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check.
¿Cómo está? Mira, my amigos. Welcome to Drone Brews. We've been now streaming for 3 years straight, simulcasting into the interwebs. Season 4 starts tonight. Well, it actually started like accidentally 2 episodes ago because I put it in the thumbnail, but it wasn't supposed to start, but then it did start. Anyways, welcome everybody. So glad to see so many of you here this evening. We have quite a lot of people in the chat already. We've got Drone Shots, Yellow Rose Drones, Drone Sika. We've got 107 Drones. We got Michael Belshi, Dirt Road Drones, a lot of drones. Johnny Drone Buyer, Astilla Gravy. We got King in the chat. Randy 203 Drones, Jenna C. We got Flying Fin Media, Silver Surfer, Jonathan Jackson. Got Quadcopters and Tech, Scylla Sager. Let's see who else we got here. We got Vids for Squids. Azul Koala. Probably screwed that name right up. I got Ariel Sean, MTC Graphics. Hola. Hola, my amigo. Brad Henderson. We got Mike Mackendog, Daniel Porter, Eric Lipinski, Rat Motors, Sergio from Fly Zone Drones, and everybody else lurking. Blue Eye Visuals, Sunrise, Water Media, Texas Arc Drone Guy. Good to see all of you tonight. So tonight we're gonna keep it pretty informal. Not really a super topic. Last time we tried to do that, it went off the rails very quickly. And also to alleviate tonight, because I'm going to be back-to-back streaming tomorrow night. You can catch me on Ken Herron's TNL. So if you don't get what you want to see here tonight, you can go over to TNL tomorrow. We'll be over there. I will be in the co-host chair with Ken tomorrow. So there's that. But tonight we're going to do Q&A. We're also talking about DJI delaying remote ID on some of these older drones. So we've got the DJI FPV, the Mavic Air 2, the Mavic 2 Zoom, and the Mavic 2 Pro. Phantom 4 Pro 2.0, all of that is delayed. Looks like it's not going to make its way to the firmware update until August. Not sure why, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's still going to come. It just looks like it's delayed. If you still have those drones, it is going to be delayed. They didn't really provide much of a reason as to why. Maybe they just focused on the new fleet of drones, trying to get those updated so they were ready and compliant. That's the only thing I could think of. Either way, not going to be like a huge deal. I'm sure they'll get that squared away. And a lot of times they usually get stuff like this worked out a little bit faster. I mean, we still got a little bit of time. We're in July? We got August, September. So you got 2 months. So maybe they pull it out a rabbit out of their hat and get that updated. So we'll see. we'll continue to monitor that. If you are concerned or curious whether your drone is compliant, I urge you to go check out the article from Drone XL. There will be a link at the end of the stream in the description of this stream where you can go over there, check out their whole breakdown. They also go through all the drones that are currently compliant and set up for remote ID. So there's that if that's something that you are interested in. All right. Yeah, DJI FPV. I know that's that's weird. No update for DJI FPV. Remote ID for that is slated for August, according to this article. So everything I'm seeing here, remote ID for the DJI FPV is slated for August. I feel like that drone specifically has been sort of the little bastard of the lineup. I feel like they really haven't done too many updates with it. Like they did, like they were like 5 or 6 updates, like really quick within the year that it first launched. Then there hasn't been anything else about that. So that's a little bit disappointing that there hasn't been more updates. I think it's still a fantastic, drone for long range stuff. If you're looking to get certain shots, I mean, yeah, it's Humpty Dumpty, but I mean, it does work for certain things, especially if you mount a GoPro to it. The thing can be pretty fantastic if you know how to use it. Do I think DJI will release a new DJI FPV drone this year? I mean, anything is possible. I'm learning that anything is possible when it comes to DJI. We just never know. I don't know what their timeline of events are, like when they deem that they will release something. I'm sure that they're still riding pretty high off of the Avata sales. I think the Avata was very successful for them. So I don't know. Like, do they really need to release another FPV drone? I don't know. I think they also want to test the waters and see what becomes of this remote ID. I think that's a smart game plan for them to sort of test that out and see how the market responds. Because let's say they produce and put all this R&D into a new FPV drone, and remote ID comes and there's not as much interest in drones now because of the whole remote ID situation. They may not want to put that time and effort. But then again, the US is not necessarily the largest market for DJI. I would say Europe is probably their largest market. So maybe they do it. Maybe they put something out later on this year, maybe closer to Christmas time seems adequate. I'm sure we'll see something eventually. All right, let me jump back into the chat here. Mavic 3 is compliant, correct. All the new Mavics, all the new drones that were released, like relatively, like pretty much new, I would say, after FPV drone have been updated and all are compliant. Let's see. How about Mavic 4? Is that due for 2023? I don't think so. They just released a Mavic 3 Pro. I don't see a Mavic 4 coming out in 2023. That's not like DJI to do that. Usually a Mavic drone is like every other year. I would say like you see like every other year. Think about how long the Mavic 2 Pro was out before we saw the Mavic 3. Mavic 2 Pro was released in 2019. Like I think it was like announced in 2018, maybe released 2019. I think it was 2019. I was in New York for the release. So I think it was 2019. So we went 2020, 21, and I think the 21 is when the Mavic 3 was launched, if I'm not mistaken. So it's about a 2-year span there between releases. So that seems to be pretty normal for them, is a 2-year span. Hopefully it's not another flying potato. I agree. I would be happy with a camera setup like what the Avata has. But I think, honestly, realistically, if they put out another FPV drone, it needs to have 2 cameras. One for your flight camera and then one that is actually recording. I would love to see like, a camera from either a Mavic 3 or even the Mini 3 Pro camera installed on an FPV drone, just to have like a better camera experience, and then also take advantage of different frame rates if somebody wanted those other frame rates but didn't want to fly with those frame rates. I think that would be awesome to see. Isn't that related to COVID? I don't know if it was necessarily related to COVID, because I mean, they still released it within a COVID year. And I say that because when the Mavic 3 came out, I was going to Hawaii in November, and COVID restrictions were still in effect in Hawaii. So I don't think COVID necessarily had too much to do with that, but they're not going to release a Mavic 4 in 2023. It's just not going to happen. There's only 6 months left in the year. They already pushed out the Mavic 3 Pro. That's their Mavic 3 revision for this year. You would have to wait to 2024 to see a Mavic 4, which would also make sense because if they were going to release the 4, it would be in 2024. If I was just thinking about things logically, I think it would be 2024. Mavic 2 Pro and Zoom, yeah, August 2018. So that was that was 3 years. So they're right on cue with the cycle. DJI FPV2 needs to rival something like the Nazgul. The Nazgul is its own, like, no, that's like hobby grade FPV stuff, iFlight. The DJI FPV system is entirely different. It's like a hybrid system. You got to think of it as a hybrid system. I feel like the Nazgul is fantastic, but like it's still hobby grade in a sense. Plus it's iFlight, and fuck iFlight. How's it going, Ray Kelly? Good to see you, man. Agreed. Flying the Avata with 30 FPS is awful. Yeah, you know what? And I was one of the people, I complained that where's the 30 FPS? Then I got 30 FPS and I'm like, yep, I don't want to fly with 30 FPS. I'm going to put a GoPro. I'm going to put a GoPro on top of there because I'm not flying at 30 FPS. I was hitting trees, branches, you name it. It's very hard to fly at 30 FPS. Felt good about getting my Mavic 3 now. Yeah, I think you're going to be fine. And then here's the thing, man. You don't always have to have the latest, greatest. Like, we don't have to have the latest, greatest. There's nothing wrong with flying. Like, the Air 2S, the Air 2S is still an amazing drone. The only thing that worries me with the Air 2 series is, like, the batteries. That's the only thing that ever stopped me from buying another one was the batteries. But it's still a great aircraft as long as you check your batteries. Any truth to this? I read that a new Air 3 charger will be able to charge 3 batteries at the same time. I have no idea. I haven't read anything. I have not been keeping up with the leaks when it comes to the Air 3 because it just doesn't interest me. I've got the Mavic 3 Pro, and to me, like, I use that like every single day. So that's where all my, like, you know, I sort of try to worry about what I have. Yeah, so I haven't kept up with that. That'd be cool if it did, but I haven't read anything about that. Of course, anything's possible. Sorry, just getting caught up here on the chat here. I see Bob Casey, Maddie's Drone World entered the chat. Good to see you guys. The Flying Grip, good to see you. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Easiest way to know is just check out Drone XL. I mean, they're pretty up to date with most of the leaks that are currently happening. Is it smart to upgrade the Avata to an Axis flying kit or just wait for DJI to release the Avata 2.0? I don't recommend the Axis flying kit at all. I think it's more trouble than it's worth, and there are some drawbacks to upgrading. Number one, the repairability is actually more difficult when you upgrade it. I know that sounds counterintuitive. The ducts that Axis Flying provides are actually more fragile than the ducts that ship on the Avata. The only thing the Axis Flying kit is essentially doing is creating a wider footprint for the Avata, but that is it. It's also unproven as to what effects it's going to have on the ESC. Somebody said in my video that I had the props on upside down, which I looked, they're definitely not. They're installed. Everything is installed correctly. And I still get warnings from the ESC, like an amp draw warning. So I think there are a lot more downsides than there are positives from installing the Axis Flying kit to the Avata. So, and it's also such a pain in the butt to install. It really is a pain in the ass to install. If you don't have a lot of patience, don't have a lot of time, I don't recommend doing it. I cannot stress that enough. You'll actually curse yourself more trying to do that conversion kit. It's really not worth it. If you want to do anything to your Avata, upgrading the motors is definitely helpful. I wouldn't go much beyond upgrading the motors if you want to do anything to your Avata whatsoever. I see Russ. Hello, Russell. Kevin Wells, thank you so much, man. Says, just got here. I got to buy you a beer. I watch everything you put out. $5 really doesn't buy a premium beer. Does it? Well, I mean, it depends. Today we are drinking La Cerveza. I have a Corona, so I think somewhere on here it says premium. No, it's imported from Mexico. But that's still premium. It's premium. That $5 buys this. That does. I bought it at the Dollar Tree. So that's something. Skydio DJI. I wish I had 2 of them. Skydio? You wish you had 2 Skydios? No, you don't, Russ. No, you don't. I threw mine in the trash yesterday. My Skydio is garbage. I threw it in the trash. That drone, horrible. It's a flying potato brick. That's enough for about 6 cases of Bud Light. Well, from my understanding, that Bud Light, the total price of Bud Light dropped tremendously. I don't know what happened, but you can buy Bud Light incredibly cheap. You can buy Bud Light Platinum cheaper than you can buy other beer right now, which is pretty wild. Almost shocking that you could buy it so cheap. Make me an offer for my Skydio. Nobody make an offer on a Skydio. Like, don't. That's a poor value proposition today in 2023. It's just it's cool. The Skydio 2 is cool for the first 4 to 5 flights. The Skydio 2 is cool. After that, after you're done following yourself and filming things, you realize, like, well, what else can I do with this? Oh, I want to fly like a normal drone. Oh, you can't. Oh, that's a bummer. I want to do a hyperlapse. Oh, wait, you can't. Oh, I want to fly at night. Oh, wait, you can't. So then it just sits on your shelf looking at you, staring at you, probably downloading all your data, spying on you even, reporting back to Skydio your emotions and feelings. I don't know. They blame everybody else, so I figured blame them. Shutter Speed Ireland, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It says, hi, Ken. Do you think the new Mavic 3 Pro's 7x zoom is better than the original Mavic 3's 7x zoom? Yes. And I say that only because previously using the 7x zoom, it always seemed very grainy or fuzzy. It wasn't very sharp or detailed. These images, even, stills, are very sharp, like super, like tack sharp. I took some photos from like across the Hudson. We were in New Jersey and we were flying the shipyard, and I was able to snap some awesome shots of New York City legally thanks to that 7x zoom. If I didn't have the 7x zoom, I would have never been able to capture like legal shots of the Statue of Liberty, and like it was awesome. And I found that the images were very usable. Even in video, the images are very usable. It doesn't have any sort of log profile. But again, that may be okay for many people. You can do some minor color grading, but I still found that the image was very usable. I think it's better, personally. Russ, that's because you don't have an Autel. If you had an Autel, you wouldn't have to worry about geozones and stuff like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Russell. I'll wait. Russell. Thought I heard something with the printer going. Florida Aerial Venture says, we have Skydios at work. Everyone hates them. I mostly use the Air 2S or the Mavic 2 Pro for 90% of all my work. Yeah. I hear the same thing. They tried to make their way into the departments here. Some departments jumped on them. Some departments didn't. Again, that leasing program really turns off a lot of people. It's pretty expensive to lease. The software to maintain it's pretty expensive. So a lot of the departments went with the FLIR Teledyne drone, which, I mean, it's getting better. It's still nowhere near the competition, but we'll have to see how that works. Chase Level says, at my dealership, this commercial guy had to put his Skydio in the fridge from overheating. I saved the day with my Avata. Good for you, man. Yeah, the Skydio, I have had it overheat on me actually a few times. Today it was a whopping 103 degrees. The humidity was insane. So it was a very humid, very hot day. Even my camera, just taking photos, doing stills, my camera actually overheated on me just taking still photos, which I was like, holy cow. So yeah, it was definitely hot. The heat will play an impact on things, but that's good that the Avata was able. The Avata does really well in high heat. I was in Las Vegas, the hottest month. It was 112 degrees last August, and we were there for commercial UAV with the Avatas, and they were flying no problems. It was crazy, super hot. They were flying no issues. I thought that was pretty impressive. There's a lot of people that are not a fan of the Skydio. I mean, it's nothing against their engineering. It's just they're not, they put that out in 2019. They haven't done any updates. They haven't shown any interest in the consumer side. Granted, the consumer side really ramped up a lot of the hype they have today came from the consumer side. Yet they totally abandoned the consumers, which I think is pretty interesting. Altels have the tendency to get bashed. That is also true. Keep getting ads for Exo drones. Some other company actually bought Exo. So Exo Drone was just a Shopify store. So what Exo was doing was buying Hubsan drones or something like that, and they were just rebranding them, selling them as their own, even though they were not. It was a very clever monopoly orchestrated by this kid. I mean, he was 23 years old. This kid, like literally, he's just a kid. And he did this Shopify store buyout. So if you have a Shopify store, what they'll do is they'll look at your total sales, and then they'll make you an offer and buy you out. That's what they do. They buy Shopify stores. So I thought that was pretty nuts. Good for him, I guess. Matter of fact, it is so hot in here. I actually installed a fan on my desk because it gets so hot with the lights. I have to have a fan actually on blowing. So if there's any sort of weird noise, that's probably what it is this. It's just too hot in here. The ventilation in the new studio, I have to probably put a new AC in the new studio because it doesn't feel like it gets cool enough in here. Yeah, it's so hot out. It's miserable to be flying at this time of year. All right, let me jump. Exo is probably a furniture company by now, possibly so. Their promo video was noticeably shaky. Yeah, that was probably it's probably a Hubsan drone. Nacho Rolling, good evening, all. Good to see you in the chat, man. Thanks for stopping by. Ray Kelly, 5-inch Cinelifter Whoop is on the way. Avata 2 Pro. Yeah, I wish that was the case. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Jake, not from State Farm, says, like the new studio. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate that. I like the new studio as well. It's definitely helping getting some things done. Yeah, hot. Here in California, it's the season for tarantulas in the garage. Really? The very first time I've ever seen a tarantula in the wild, I was in San Francisco. We were actually... we were outside of San Francisco. Anyways, we were in the mountains. I forgot where we were in the mountains, flying the Avata. And there was a tarantula. It was August. There was a tarantula crossing the street. I had a video. I couldn't believe it. It was huge. And it was just crossing the street, just casually. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Absolutely crazy. Need to send me you a Minot ND poster. Yeah, no. Yeah, but you know what, Russ? Here, I will take the heat over snow. I will take the heat because the heat's gonna go away. I'm gonna have to wait. Let's see, July, August, September. Towards the end of October, it'll start fizzling. But guess what? I get hot, I'm gonna go to a water park. Last weekend, I went to a water park to cool off. I went to Adventure Island. If you've never been to Adventure Island, it is located in Tampa, Florida, in the heart of the city. I have been doing every weekend. We've been going to a different water park. 2 weekends ago, we went to Volcano Bay. Not this weekend, but next weekend, we're going to go to Aquatica. But what I've noticed is if I go to the water parks in Orlando, they're super clean. I mean, it's very tropical. It's nice. Even the women there, they're Brazilian. Beautiful, beautiful women. Beautiful women. You go to Adventure Island in Tampa. The water park is dirty. The women are shaped like brake pads. They're shaped like brake pads. Not very attractive, and people walk around with ankle bracelets. And not the type that you buy to put on intentionally. These are like more like of the tracker type. Yeah, crazy. But I'm gonna start just going to water parks. That's what I do every weekend. We go to a different water park. It's a good time. Not so much fun to go out and not so much fun to go out and fly drone. Fly a drone at night though. Fly the drone at night. Did you see anyone see that video of the huge crack? I did see the crack in the roller coaster. That is insane that they don't inspect those things. It makes me think twice now riding a roller coaster. Something crazy like that can happen. Absolutely insane they can let that. But you know what? If they were inspecting their coasters with drones on a regular basis, I bet that wouldn't happen. They should be inspecting these coasters with drones. That's a perfect use case for a drone to do some structural integrity inspections of these roller coasters. Would be a wise thing for them to do. Would be absolutely a wise thing for them to do. Mr. Feinberg, welcome to the chat, my friend. Welcome to the chat. Oh, boy. Chasing the race bird. What is this? FPV drone captures electric race boat on Lake Measury. I'll have to check that video out. That looks insane. Oh, the chat just froze here. Let me turn on live chat. There we go. Now I can see things a little bit more clearly. Big Shot Media, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Chris Hope, thanks for stopping by too. Yeah, Pennsylvania weather is gorgeous. Where has Eddie been? Guess we'll address this. So Eddie is here's how this goes. Every so often, a co-host comes and a co-host goes. They spread their wings and they fly away. And that's Eddie. No, he's in Puerto Rico vacationing. Ken Torbeck, member for 10 months. Why did I pay this? That is a very good question. Jared Spink, good seeing you. You know what I'm thinking about doing? I'm thinking about searching for the next co-host of Drone Brews. The next co-host of Drone Brews. That's what I think I may do. Maybe what we do is I try out several co-hosts and then people could decide which co-host they like the best. That seems like a good idea. Just make it like a competition, and then we pick one person to become the co-host of Drone Brews. I think that's a reasonable that could be a thing. That could be a thing. Taking nominations, yes, I will take nominations. No, I had one in mind, but I don't know. It's hard to beat Paul. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give Paul some credit here. It's hard to beat Paul as a co-host. Now, let's be clear. I love Paul to death. But when Paul first came to Drone Brews, he was timid, he was shy, he was quiet, and he was downright boring. As he started evolving almost 2 years into Drone Brews, it was like watching the evolution of balls drop. His balls started dropping. His voice started deepening. He started pushing back, telling me no, cutting me off as I was talking, planning guests that I had no idea would even want to come on the show, and he was planning these things in advance. Then even designing the set in which Drone Brews sort of sprung off of. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That was what Paul did. So I credit Paul to the evolution of Drone Brews. I credit producer Paul. Now he eats microphones. Matt. No, for a co-host, I may have to find somebody controversial, almost opposing to what everything I would go for. And I think I may do it to where if I hire a co-host, I would want them to come in studio. We would do an in studio thing every Wednesday because I have this chair here. I have a chair. You see that chair? That chair is designed for a co-host. It's got a microphone. It's got a chair. It's got everything we need to have a second person in studio. And that is something that lacks on a lot of live streams because a lot of live streams, the co-host is like, across the country or across the state. But if I do this and I bring somebody in studio, that's a whole new dynamic. That's like a Howard Stern thing right there. May have to do it. Could be different. Could be interesting. Fly you from Vegas to... What could a Spirit Airlines flight cost? Can we get enough of super chats to pay for me to fly Big Shot Media out here every single week? I don't know. It might be a once a month. It might be a once a month type of live stream. Might be once a month. You pay them in sweet baby Jesus. Yeah. Kevin Wells, thanks so much, man. I appreciate you, brother. Me and Captain Drone. Well, Steve's up there in Canada. I don't have a problem with Captain Drone. I've sort of backed off of him. I really don't care one way or the other with him. What's up, Vitrifly? Always good to see you. You want to talk about some crazy FPV mounts? If you guys are looking for some of the craziest looking GoPro mounts on the market today, you need to check out Vitrifly's channel for one. Give him a subscribe. He is an amazing pilot for starters. So go check out his channel. I urge you to go check Vitrifly's channel out. Insanity. It's like he freezes time in the midair. Like you would think that there was some editing trick happening, and it's not. It's just that's him flying. Pretty awesome stuff. J-Mo, good to see you, man. I need BK, he travels. I bring him on sometimes, like a periodic thing. We did that. It's hard. It's hard. We both have our own channels. We both have our own thing going on. So it is always tough to get synced up, and that doesn't happen as often as it used to. Yeah. Paul from Drone U. Oh, man. I've contemplated here's a contemplation. I have contemplated reaching out to him to just sort of clear the air, squash the beef with him, and just I've contemplating it because when you go to a trade show and you see these people there, like having animosity at trade shows, like you got to walk down an aisle and you're like, oh, there's so-and-so and there's animosity. I don't like it. I don't like having animosity amongst peers. I would rather just not have to do that. Like, I think there could be some coexistence. And I would be up to have him on and to chat with him. Not promoting Drone U, but just talking to him as a person to clear the air and to clear the differences. I don't find that to be a problem. I've never seen that to be an issue. But he's blocked me on every single platform. So I'm pretty sure if I even emailed him, it'd probably go to spam. But I mean, I would be open to a conversation. Why not Aldrin? Because again, Aldrin is busy dude. If there's going to be a co-host, that co-host has to have free time. A lot of people don't have free time. A husband and wife show? No, that would be a husband and that would be a murder scene. Terrible. I need a female co-host. You know what? 107, Barkley, you are right. You are right. A female co-host could jumpstart this in a whole new direction. It could. You're absolutely right. That's what we need, Barkley. That's what we need. We need a female co-host. That's what we need. We need a female co-host that's married, that can handle my terrible humor, can be witty, and flies drones. That's what we need. I think that's a great idea. That's a great idea. But now we got to figure out who. There's very limited options. Very limited options. And they gotta have free time. They gotta have Wednesday nights have to be available. And they can't be shaped like a brake pad. Exactly. Cannot have a female shaped like a brake pad. That's not gonna work for this. That we have to do this. We gotta find this. That's what we're gonna do. And Maddie, I don't want to hear that you identify as a female, Maddie. That's not going to fly. You can't identify as a female to try to be co-host, Maddie. Not going to work. Ken, given the fact that my governor has a problem with drag shows, he'd probably ban my show. He would kill my IP here in this state. Otherwise, we would give it a go. We'd put you in a nice little sundress and bonnet and see what happens. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Strangest super chat I've ever received. What's good, Michael Blade? Good to see you, man. Let's see. Who try Eleanor? I've never heard of her. Lexi Jansen. Yeah, Lexi's busy too. And Lexi, we have a time difference because she's down there in Australia. Tammy Jean is the only one who fits that description. That is true. As of right now, that is the only one that does fit the description. Get Heron sex. Yeah. I have no idea. Why is that an X? Why? What is he thinking? Nacho Rolling says I have a face for radio. Well, I have a face for radio as well. It's Matilda, man. Florida is never short on female. This is true. We'll have to canvas. We'll have to find it because there's a lot that's gonna Young 360. Yeah, but again, time difference. Ani girl again. Time differences. Lexi's in Bali now, I think. Probably she's living her best life traveling. That's for damn sure. Get a woman from the FAA. I don't know if they exist. I think they called those trolls. I remember Sean did have one for a while. I don't know what happened with that. I think there was a pay dispute, custody battle. I'm not sure. But then things went sideways. And then for a little while, the show was in litigation. Something about a multi-million-dollar dispute. I don't know. I guess that's what it's going to take. We're going to have to get a female. So here's what we do. We have I don't even know how to approach this. There is somebody, Drone Angel. I don't even know if she does content anymore, but she would be she's actually Atlanta. She would be a good, and I always thought her channel would have blew up exponentially, and I don't know why it hasn't. So that could work. So right now, Brandon Ariels is putting Kim Fuse, Genesee, or Tammy Jean into the mix. Okay. We have to see what scheduling looks like then. Well, we'll have to see what happens. I'm going to put a poll out there. I'm going to put a poll out there. I'm going to put a sign up. I'm going to make a thing on the website, like a form, to sign up, and then we test people out live, like do a live stream and see who jives, see what the audience thinks, and then maybe we'll do like segments, like one person on 15 minutes, another person on for 15 minutes, another person on for 15 minutes, and see how people react to each one, and then we choose a winner. I think that works, right? Nope, young 360 time differences, etc. And that would be difficult. That would be difficult. Hot chicks plus FPV equals win. Only issues is patience. Yeah. I mean, young would be, she would be awesome. And I can always approach her, but again, I don't know what time is it? What time is it in China right now? Because she's in China, right? Let's see what time it is. So right now it's 9:40 a.m. Well, this could work. That could work. If it's 9:40 where she's at, this could work. So instead of drinking beer, she'd be drinking coffee. I would switch to drinking coffee to match the scene. That could work. Survivor, Jerome Brew's co-host edition. This could be like Bachelor, but co-host. We'll call it co-host. Yeah, I mean, and Eddie was a fantastic co-host too. I loved having Eddie on the show. He evolved, and then he sprouted his wings, and I mean now he's just he's huge on Instagram. He's a big deal. He's a big deal. Can barely book a time with them. That would be a month of guest hosts. We're gonna put it out there. We're gonna put it out there. I want to see more women in drones. That's what I want to see. I want to see more women in drones. I think that is something that we lack right now. It's like obviously this stream, all the streams, everything. It's all male dominant. And I have 3 daughters, and I want to see them fly drones. I want to see them have the same opportunities that I have, and we have to start that now. So I think that's what we're gonna do. And besides, I need somebody that can keep me in check when I go off the rails. Like Eddie had no control. Eddie would just sit there. You could see him fastening his seatbelt, grabbing the oxygen mask, putting it on because he knew everything was going to go off the rails on the stream. Paul at least tried to reel things back. He tried. But Eddie was just over there throwing gasoline in the fire. Freaking Eddie. God damn it, Eddie. Throw gasoline in the fire, Eddie. All right, so that's what we're going to do. Alicia FPV. That could be a possibility. I'm actually friends with Alicia. Allie could be a good option. Bob Casey says I nominate the drone angel. All right, we'll put a poll out. We're going to put a poll out on the community page. We're going to put a poll out for it, and we're going to specify. You can't identify. You have to. We're going to be adding a female co-host to Drone Brews. You cannot identify as a female. You have to be a female. You have to fly drones. You have to have at least 1 year experience. We got to put a cap on this, right? You can't just buy one tomorrow and say I'm going to be on the show. That's not going to work. I mean, we will make some exceptions depending on if there's some sort of status or something there. I mean, that could work. I digress. So we'll put that out there, and then we'll see what happens. And then we'll see how it goes. I mean, Paul did good. I'm gonna rank my co-hosts in the order in which they received. So I got Paul number 1, Eddie number 2, and I only put Eddie number 2 because I'm good friends with Eddie. But as far as planning goes, a lot of planning fell on Paul's lap. There was a lot of behind the scenes planning and reaching out, and he did it all. He did that very, very well. Eddie was an igniter. He was an instigator with me, and we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. So it's a tough call, but we've done Paul, which is a Paul was Paul, and then we did Eddie, the lips. So now we're on to something else. So we're gonna make this happen. This is gonna happen. We're gonna do it, and that's gonna go down. Now, what am I being sent here?
This right here. This is exactly what I need to be here. Okay, I'm good. Domo is live in a bit. Any special guest planned for today's show? Nah, and listen, Squadron. I know you're trying to help, buddy. Like, the whole thing with XChat, with Block Grinder, with Domo, JD, and what's his name? I fix stuff. You know, just let it die. Just let it die, man. I don't care what they post about.
I digress. I had to read that. I was sorry. Deneen pegging. All right, we're gonna put this out there. I'm gonna do it right now. We're going to the community tab. So we'll put the community tab out there, and we'll leave it up here. We'll leave it up here for a week till the next week, and then we'll see what we can get. I'm gonna say we'll put something like this. We're looking, and I say we're like it's just me. We're looking for a new co-host. I feel like we're putting a Craigslist ad up. We're looking for a new co-host. Drone Brews. There we go. This time, we're seeking female pilots. Does that sound politically correct? To sit in the co-pilot chair. No, that sounds terrible. Does that sound terrible? Does that sound terrible? To sit in the co-pilot chair. Because that sounds good. That sounds good. That's not. That's politically correct. That's politically correct. We're looking for we're seeking a female pilot. A female pilot. That's it. To be a co-host each Wednesday. And then we'll do this. We'll make rules. There's got to be rules. You can nominate yourself. Or someone can nominate you. All right, so here's the deal. You got to have at least 3 nominations. You got to have 3 nominations to make it to the next round, which then we'll test people. We'll do 1 episode each week, and then the 4th episode we make a final decision, and that's it. That's how it works. All right, that's it. It's live. You can nominate whoever, however, that's it. That's live. It's on the community poll right now. And then we'll see how that goes. I don't know how that will go. We'll see. I'm going back to the chat now. None of them live in Florida. The co-pilot chair is good. No, we can do it. We'll do not has to be in studio. The in studio thing is going to be for something else. I have a very special idea for Saturdays for a different live stream that I think is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, but it'll be something different. It'll be coffee. It'll be different. It'll be much different, but that'll be with somebody live in studio. There's no swimsuit parts. No, this is on the up and up. Maddie's Drone World says now you got to reach out to all of them so you know that they can, if they're down to take the position. No, they have to be. They have to nominate. They have to They got to be nominated. They have to be nominated. 3 nominations. 3. No, you can't nominate here. You got to go to the community post. You have to nominate it there. Not here. There's no poll. You got to comment with your recommendation, or that person can nominate themselves. Like they can nominate you. They can self-nominate, because I think that's a good way, because then it shows interest. And somebody else is like, oh yeah, Jenna nominated herself, and I second this. That's how you would do it. That's how we're doing this. And then next Wednesday, we select one of them, and then they come on and we try it out, see how it goes, and see if it's better or worse. I mean, we did the Eddie thing, we did the Paul thing. I mean, nothing could be worse than staring at Paul. I mean, that was as bad as it gets. So, I mean, I can't tell you how many microphones the guy shorted out on me. He just shorted out like 3 or 4 microphones in a short span of time, which was terrible. I mean, the guy's unbelievable. All right, so you were nominated Deneen, Tammy, and at the community page. All right. Tammy's getting the most nominations as of right now. And glue their eyes to the goggles. What? Evening. Adventure FPV would be a good female host. Wait a second. Isn't he a guy? I don't know. All right, where are we at? We're at 9:51. We're about rearing the end of this. It's hotter than the dickens in here. I got that, like I said, I got this fan blowing, just blowing. And so again, if you want to nominate somebody, they are that poll is open. You go there, you comment, and then I will try to figure out how to reach out to each of these people individually. Once we tally up the nominations, we'll let it run through the weekend. That way we can prep for Tuesday. Something I like to do, we'd like to do a test call. We want to make sure audio is good, video is good, because that's another aspect of this as well. We don't want to do it if somebody doesn't have good audio, and we don't want to do it if somebody doesn't have a camera, because that's all plays into having a good live stream. Like you look at like Ken Herron's show every Thursday night. He always has good audio. If things aren't perfect, if things are not perfect on TNL, there is a proverbial meltdown. And if things don't go well tomorrow, there could be a meltdown. So far, every single time I have been on his stream in the past 3 months, there has been at least one meltdown. One meltdown per stream. I mean, that is something that can happen. So, I don't know. I mean, that is something that can happen. So, I don't know. Where'd my thing go? Where'd I go? Oh, I don't know what happened there. I don't know what that happened. I'll deal with that later. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it. We're at 9:53. We'll go ahead and close it off here. Yeah, what the hell's this? What are you doing?
Yo,
why are you here?
You're talking big trash over here about me.
How did you even get in here? I banned your access months ago.
Hey, man, I know that your secret password. You didn't even change it.
Paul, what are you doing here? Did I say your name 3 times? I must have. I said your name 3 times.
Wait, you said it more than that, really, but...
Son of a bitch, Paul. Don't know! You're going to fry another microphone, Paul. Don't do it.
Yeah, we know.
I don't even know how you got in here.
Get out my head and focus on what I know's coming. Yeah. Cause I can't fall asleep at night without seeing my dreams. Delusion, reality, I'm somewhere in between. These voices in my head get loud and they keep telling me that I'm a fool for trusting in these wings. But maybe, baby, this what flying feels like. Maybe, baby, this what flying feels like.
No, but seriously, so it's off. We're done. Seriously, how did you get in here? Did you have a link? Did you have a link?
Listen, you're not gonna pick another producer without me, without my approval here. Listen, I'm putting my foot down on you because I grew a pair. That's right.
You didn't grow nothing. No. I don't need to see anything. You sit down. You probably don't even have pants on at this point.
You're probably right about that
I'm
one.
more concerned that there could be a backdoor in here that is allowing people to enter into the stream, knowing that I like you didn't have Eddie has access. Eddie has access. Very few people have access. I basically revoked it like a landlord. I kicked you out. I removed the key that would let you in, and then here you are.
Well, the thing is, I would tell you the password and all these kind people out here, but the problem is, I like the password so much. It's the password for all my accounts now too. So I just can't share that information.
You're a son of a bitch, Paul. You are a son of a bitch. But I appreciate your hustle. Son of a bitch.